Welcome to Mattamy Athletic Center at the old Maple Leaf Gardens for PWHL hockey. Tonight, Toronto takes on Boston. The home team has yet to win a game here, but Kaylee Flanagan and company will look to change that tonight. They are coming off a 5-1 loss to Ottawa on Saturday, where it was 2-0 before Toronto had a shot on goal. Tonight, they face Boston, a team that boasts an explosive lineup with stars like Alina Mueller, and is coming off a dramatic showing in Montreal's Boston will look to continue the momentum from an overtime winner. Alina Mueller could be poised for a breakout tonight, and so is captain Hillary Knight. She doesn't have a point yet, but for Toronto captain Blair Turnbull, she also is without a point this season. And another 200-foot player in Emma Malte as Toronto looks for their first home win. I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Cheryl Pounder for tonight's game, the first night game at Mattamy Athletic Center, and a lot on the line for Toronto, a team that's still trying to find its way here with a 1-3 record.
Yeah, and really it's about their identity, and they've got to find a way to manufacture some offense. When you look at their free agents to start this season, they got Nurse, Turnbull, and Fast. Then they had their first pick, and what did they do? They went out and they got Jocelyn Larocque. They knew that this would be a pairing that could really shore up the blue line. They could find a way to move the puck, and with them as a cornerstone to that blue line, they could manufacture that offense. But right now, they have 5 goals for 14 against. So this team has to find their identity and fast. Of course, the netminder as well has got to be a little bit stronger. Kristen Campbell will get the start, but certainly she has to find her game. Listen, only 4 games into the season. The sky, it is not falling, but for these two athletes, they know that they can be better. Just trying to do a little bit too much right now, but you know, when they reset, they find their form. This is going to be a strong team.
And I had a chance to ask Captain Blair Turnbull about the start to the season just before warm-ups. Blair, as captain, you're coming off a tough loss. What do you and what does the team need to do to get this first home win tonight?
I think our main focus is to not focus on the results and focus on the habits and details that lead to results. I think it's really easy to get caught up in the fact that we haven't won at home yet, and I think if we go into the game with the mindset that we have to win at home because we haven't yet, I don't think we'll be successful. So our whole mindset and approach to this game is to focus on the details and the habits.
And on a personal note, Blair, 4 games in, what have you learned about yourself so far as a professional player?
I've learned that it's really important to enjoy the moments and to really control my frustrations. I think as a leader, when you're on a team that's not winning, I think you can kind of wear the responsibility and you don't feel great all the time, but I think I'm really lucky with the support that we have here in Toronto with everybody in the leadership group and all my teammates, that I know it's easy for us to bounce back and to just have a really good team atmosphere and environment, and I think that's been a huge focus for us.
Well, thank you so much, Blair.
Thank you.
And now time for the Woody Creek Distillers players to watch.
I'm going for Jessie Comfer here. I mean, she's got presence along the boards. In particular, when she's playing off the cycle, she can get to the front of the net. She's got a lethal shot. She's still finding her game. Of course, all of these players are finding their games, but playing alongside Miller and Leslie, I think she can be a breakout. On the other side is going to be Alina Mueller. We asked Courtney Kessel, her coach, listen, sniper or distributor? And she looked at us and she said, both. This woman can shoot the puck. She can pass it. She can do it all. She's playing alongside Shavswal as well as Gable. So look for her to distribute that puck. Just look at these athletes. They are poised for a breakout. Daniela, Hillary Knight, Alina Mueller, Lauren Gable looking for their first goals.
And of course, they'll be in tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Tim Hortons.
Well, and the starting lineup is all about Hillary Knight, Brant, and Shirley. Look for Brant, that 200-foot player, to really get things done on the back end. You want to see one of the greatest transition skaters in the world? Look for number 5, Megan Keller, and she's lined up with Sophie Jackson for Toronto. We talked about that 200-foot game that has to manufacture some offense. Well, look no further than Spooner, Nurse, and Maggie Connors. I think that top line can really get some work done. You see Comfer in that 3-hole. I think she's going to be hard, and Larocque and Fast poised for their breakout as well.
just ahead. Puck drop at Mattamy as Toronto faces Boston for the first time in the Professional Women's Hockey League. Toronto welcomes Boston in their first meeting in the PWHL. And in net tonight, getting her first start is Emma Soderberg for Boston. She was named Swedish Player of the Year shortly after a brilliant performance between the pipes in the 2023 IHF Women's Hockey World Championship, where she was named a tournament all-star. She is dialed in. Played NCAA with Minnesota Duluth, and in Campbell they trust. Toronto giving the 5th start to Kristen Campbell, of course pulled after one period in their last game, but head coach Troy Ryan says this is what they want to go with. They have confidence. They're going to keep with Campbell tonight.
Well, and she has to reset as well, and so she's given an opportunity to do that at home. She's done it in the crease with Canada. She needs to do it here tonight.
Puck drop underway here at Mattamy. First night game in Toronto. And it's their 5th of the season, Boston's 3rd, after having a game postponed. And they're coming off a big overtime winner in Montreal on the weekend. Meanwhile, Toronto looking to bounce back after a Saturday loss at home. They are bringing the pressure in the offensive zone, and just as quick, Boston is playing it forward.
Okay. Well, you certainly know that Toronto is going to look to dictate pace. You see the early dump in, but they got to watch the Boston offense. I mean, it is layered, it is heavy. All 4 lines can score, and they'll transition quick.
Looking for a physical game. Both coaches well aware of what these two teams can bring already early on in the season. Far side in the Toronto zone, fast. Will carry it forward, plays it up to Turnbull. Turnbull again looking for her first point of the season.
And I like that she recognized that there is responsibility wearing the C, and you do wear it when your team isn't winning, but she's a leader and she's got game. Look at her on the forecheck.
She's got the puck too. She chips it back, kept in by Monroe. She gets a bump from Lauren Gable. Now Brittany Howard chasing it down far side. Plays on Emily Brown in the mix for Boston, defending Mueller as well, trying to get her stick on it.
Well, you notice that Toronto certainly playing along the boards.
Shopsall with a little tap, and now a chance for Boston. Mueller shoots, and it's saved by Campbell. Mueller still looking for her first goal as well after being taken 3rd overall in the draft.
Well, and that is a line that Toronto is going to have to be aware of with Gable, who is a shooter. We talked to Courtney Kessel about her, said arguably the quickest release in the world. And then you've got Shabzal, who's been very impressive as well. So you've got a line that can transition, they can move the puck, and they can put it in the back of the net.
Boston back in their own zone. Geronimo trying to play it away, bringing it up. But it'll be Comfer now. Stick handling. Back to the point, LaRock shoots it down low, chips it off the end board, fast to collect it near side. She puts on some speed, looks for a little play. Can't quite do it, and so Boston now, Rattray chips it up. Rattray, the points leader for Boston with 3 assists in 2 games.
Well, and she's one of those athletes that can change the temperature of a game. I call her the emotional barometer of the team. She knows exactly what she needs to do. She's versatile, and in one shift, she can change the game.
Sophie Jakes just played the puck, and it's a homecoming for Sophie Jakes of Boston. She's from Toronto. Now Hillary Knight comes in. Campbell reads it. A bit of a scrum in front of the net, able to push the rebound into the near corner. Shirley in the mix for Boston. Now Hannah Brandt, she got that tying goal in that Montreal home opener on Saturday. And here's a big chance. Sarah Nurse coming in close. She scores? No. There's a bit of confusion there, but
you're seeing the quick transition of this line with Alina Mueller. You headman the puck, and then all of a sudden, the delay there in that high slot to get that quick release shot off. And now, of course, Toronto is going to get an opportunity on the power play. Sarah Nurse gets in from the far side. She has that wide stance. She cuts in. And that's a stick on her. So Toronto for 9, though. They're going to have to find a way to execute early in this game.
Yeah, just the 4th best overall power play, but of course, sample sizes are a bit mixed here. So Soderberg stays good on that one. It's a 5-on-4 for Toronto, and that one just skims by. Larocque is right there. And the point, puck goes loose. Nurse.
And Toronto will certainly like who's in the box in Megan Keller, a strong defender who activates and also can shut down any rush.
Connors over to Larocque. Larocque plays it fast. And Larocque tees it up for Connors, and fast right there. Fast again. Boston. Gigi Marvin out there as well. Veteran player. Now in front again. Soderberg definitely covers that one. No trick of the eye on that one, Cheryl, for me anyway. They've got it all locked down.
Well, and you know if Natalie Spooner's around the net, you're going to get a dead angle shot. She'll be at the top of the crease, or she'll be coming from behind the net. And it's exactly what she wants, to be able to come down and hit someone diving down to get a quick release shot off. Soderberg hugging the post, makes the save. What I like, no second shot opportunity.
All right, and again, Toronto on a power play. Their first of this game. Kaylee Flanagan now. Over to Howard, shoots, and that one chips off the body, but that's that Howard shot that head coach Troy Ryan's been waiting for.
That was an absolute bullet, and taking away the eyes of Soderberg. Blair Turnbull, the captain, hanging out right out front.
Turnbull to Flanagan, passes it back. A little bit of patience now, some speed. Malte out there, rims it around. Howard to collect near side, back to Turnbull. They've got a little bit of time left now, and there's a shot long. Boston tries to clear it down deep. Flanagan pushes it forward for Toronto. That time, Malte's body there. But Gerard, who already has a shorthanded goal on the season.
Well, she was all over Flanagan, but Flanagan's pretty shifty herself, and the reason she's out there, she can manipulate the offensive blue line.
Oh, Hannah Miller coming in with speed. And right there was Rebecca Leslie, but Soderberg again really dialed in, covers up.
We were mentioning Brittany Howard, and who led the PHF in Toronto a year ago in points, and this is why. Look at that shot, it's a bullet, just goes wide there. You see Blair Turnbull taking away the eyes of Soderberg. She does it best. Look at her spin off, get underneath the coverage, and then she gets lost in it. And you see Soderberg has to go down to try and find that puck. That's how you cause chaos in front.
Jessie Comfer going to be taking this offensive. No, she won't. Yeah, you're looking around, and I'm like, wait a minute. Hannah Miller will step in the circle now. 5 seconds left with the player advantage for Toronto, and a shot towards the net. That one doesn't even touch Soderberg again. Now even strength Toronto. Larocque, she's got control. She's just stick handling her way through. As you shoot it towards net, Miller collects it. And again, cross ice now to Leslie. Far side, back to the point. Larocque over to Fast, shoots. What a block! No stick in hand as well for Emily Brown.
And you see what Toronto is trying to do. They're trying to really open up the zone. You see how wide they were. They're using the width of the ice as well as the depth of it. So they're trying to pull the coverage outside of the middle and attack through the middle. A lot of perimeter and point shots. They're trying to get inside. And one of the athletes there is Renata Fast, who Troy Ryan knows extremely well. Troy Ryan talked to us today about just his team finding the rhythm. Only 4 games in here. Thought maybe he came out of the gate a little bit too much structure. And now everyone's settling in.
Toronto getting with offensive zone pressure here. They've yet to score in the first period. They get to open scoring as well in any of their games. Coming in with a lot of strength there. They did have that power play. But a successful kill for Boston, and Boston again now looking to clear it. Flanagan can't quite get her stick on it, but Keller chasing, now off to the bench. Sarah Nurse trips up, it slips up rather, it's good, and on they go. Boston bringing it now back behind the net of Campbell. They've just got 2 shots on goal so far. And that'll be a tripping call coming against Boston, at least a delayed call. Maggie Connors, though, weaving through. And there's the whistle.
Well, speed makes your opponent vulnerable, and that's exactly what happens through the neutral zone. And Hannah Brandt's going to plead her cause, but the official is not going to buy it here, and it's going to be through the neutral zone as Nurse gets tripped up. So back to the power play for Toronto.
And still scoreless here. We'll be right back.
Well, Sarah Nurse has a goal and an assist, and she's certainly playing on her toes and making her opponent vulnerable, and it starts with speed, and anytime you have speed and transition, and look at her shielding that puck, and she forces Megan Keller to get a stick on her, and that's going to be an infraction, and yet again, just coming to the inside of the ice as she cuts, she gets taken down by Hannah Brandt, and so now a second power play opportunity for Toronto.
Turnbull takes that draw. Flanagan from the point. That one right in front now. Maud Poulin-LaBelle, and little feed there from Howard just below the goal line. Poulin-LaBelle teeing it up, trying to pass it around. Captain Turnbull out there. Molte right in front of the net. Now Howard again, tees up, shoots. Wide, Poulin-LaBelle. Scoops it up, big shot. That one off the body of a Boston player. Emily Brown, who else? She's blocked a few already.
Well, Howard mixes from the exact same spot. You can see Emma Molte popping down low and then popping high into the bumper position.
Well, Howard with some speed now near corner. The team gets set up in the slot, some bodies right there, but Boston in the way. And again, Howard tees it up. Oh, that's a hard one right into Jessica DiGirolamo.
So you have to take a look sometimes. That was a forced one. It was a spin and fire, a little bit of a double pump as well. You allow your opponent to get into that shooting lane.
And Jocelyn Larocque, she tries to tee it up. And it'll go into the Toronto zone. Puck has not spent too much time on this side of the ice in this first period. Shots on goal, very tentative at this time. Sarah Nurse with speed, far corner. She rims around. Still 5-on-4 here for Toronto's second power play of the game. Digging into the near wall. Larocque over to Spooner. Spooner tees it up, shoots into the glove of Soderberg.
Well, this is some speed, and the hardest thing to do on a power play is to get into the zone, and Toronto doing a real nice job with the setup. They actually bring 4 players back, and look at the motion, filling every lane, and that allows Sarah Nurse to get it on the far side with some speed, cut to the middle of the ice. Now they have their setup, and that is exactly what you want. Picture perfect entry.
18 seconds left on this Toronto power play. Larocque finds it from the Toronto blue line. Sends it down. Spooner, the only player on the Toronto team to score on the power play.
Well, and you know exactly where she's going to be. She's going to be net front, and Sarah Nurse playing with a lot of pace right now, really being the driver of the offense so far in this game. You mentioned Natalie Spooner, just how effective she can be when she gets below the goal line, forces everyone to turn to her, and keep an eye at her right at the top of the crease.
And fast. Comes in with speed over to Spooner, but that's offside.
Well, Renata Fast will be frustrated with this. She has all the speed, and there are a few of the players at the blue line. They are a bit static, so there's no reason for her to move that puck, but you got to stay on side, and certainly that's frustrating. Renata Fast led and controlled entries at the most recent rivalry series. It's just that long stride and her speed, living up to her last name.
Comfer in the neutral zone, this time just final seconds here as Boston's Hannah Brandt gets out on the ice immediately into the zone here, in the Toronto zone. And now a chance in front for Knight. That one batted away by Campbell. Near side, Keller keeps it in for Boston. Tees it up, long shot, that off the glass. Campbell had her hand up though. And now Toronto, even strength Comfer with a nice pass to Larocque. Larocque drives towards the net, shoots, and Leslie right there. Spooner scores! Toronto's goal. And it's Hannah Miller who gets the job done. Toronto scoring in the first period, something they've never done. Opening scoring as well.
Well, and it's all about driving the net. And look at the pass, cross feed, and it's going to be the defender. And Jocelyn Larocque, a little bit of a shield, and just throwing it to the net on the backhand. Melee ensues, and Megan Keller's caught by the goal line as she follows the puck. So that's your defender, that's your veteran, 35-year-old Jocelyn Larocque, taking it right to the paint. And then you got players all around trying to find and collect that rebound as it comes off that left pad of Soderberg. And she is showing some athleticism to make that first save, but she can't make the second or third when you've got 2 bodies around, and Hannah Miller puts it in.
Flanagan tees it up for Leslie. Toronto immediately putting the pressure back in the Boston zone. Get earliest goal score for Toronto, second ever on home ice. Campbell plays it up, Fast is there. Maybe Boston's Gable trying to get it loose. And that is, of course, first of the season for Hannah Miller. Lots of firsts still on the board for both these teams, just coming into this 10 players each with at least 1 point.
But I like the net drive and the attack mentality in and around the net, like a dog on a bone. Just keep going. Find the loose puck, recover it, put it in.
Toronto right in front of the net that time. Back into the near wall. Boston's Schaffsel. That one off the leg of Poulin Lebel.
But it's interesting, on the goal too, Megan Keller was communicating. You could see her talking to her forwards, communicating who to take, and just wound up lost in it with that rebound. Anytime there's a shot, guess what? You have to turn and try and corral that puck.
And Toronto again. Pressure now from Rougeau. That loosens it. Willoughby's got room. She makes the pass over to Fast. Quick redirect, Fast. Tees up a shot. No, just off the stick. Lots of speed again into the near corner. Here's that physical play from Boston. Has to be cut in front. Soderberg with a big stop. And now Willoughby tries to chip another. Willoughby down low. Toronto again with pressure in the Boston zone in front. Flanagan collects it far side. He's got Vasco in the mix. And Rattray tees it up over to Brown. Boston just trying to get some sustained pressure in the Toronto zone.
Well, and you can see Jamie Lee Rattray hard on that puck. I think she's one of the greatest players from the hash marks down below.
And now a chance, right? Brandt. She gets caught up on LaRock, and so Toronto takes it away in the glove of Keller. Great vision on the ice. Now Jakes.
And I like that Megan Keller plays with the young Jakes coming out of Ohio State. So we've got a veteran with a lot of experience playing with the young athlete.
And Campbell will cover it up, close it down. And a big start for Toronto, Cheryl.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely huge and just pushing this Boston team back on their heels. And you know the type of offense they have and looking to set something up. Likely, Anna Brandt's throughout their career has been solid at the dot. Let's see if she sets something up.
Anna Brandt coming into this game with about a 36% face-off rating.
Which is a real different for her, because on the international stage, I'm used to seeing her numbers significantly higher, and of course only 2 games, so not a large sample size.
Absolutely. They have 2 games in hand on Toronto. And right in front, Shirley misses that pass. It was a fast one. DiGirolamo sends it around. Scott Knight right there. Shirley's there too in front of the net. And a big shot by DiGirolamo off the bodies in front. I believe Rougeau got a piece of it, now trying to work the puck herself, but Brandt will scoop it up for Boston. Trying to get her stick on it is Spooner. DiGirolamo. Now back behind the net, Knight. Can't quite control it, so Toronto will take it away. Maud Poulin-Labelle, far side, tries to weave her way in. Boston picks it up. They've got Costa on it. Now Gerard. She fires one down. Tess Campbell turns it away. Boston again. Costa right there in the neutral zone. She's got Darkangelo on it now. Darkangelo in front of the net. Boston dives for it. Flanagan defends for Toronto, clears it out.
Well, everyone closed really quickly on Costa and didn't have a chance. She didn't have a chance to get that shot off.
There's the icing call. A chance to just slow things down here, but
there's the head coach, Courtney Kessel, and on the national team herself, and U18 head coach of Team Canada last year. And she talked about just familiarizing her team so they recognize where each other are going to be on the ice. So getting good reads, and that's been the biggest difference, bringing a team together like this that hasn't played in really only 2 games under their belt.
Behind the net, LaRock gets to the puck first. Malte, the short pass to Turnbull. Weaves through, takes it near side. Turnbull shoots. Soderberg locked in. And a big save for Boston as the home team gets on the board first. Here in Toronto, it's a 1-0 lead. Toronto head coach Troy Ryan. Troy, your team has yet to score first in a first period as well. They've done just that. What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I really like the energy our team came out with, getting pucks deep, getting below the goal line, trying to generate some offense. Obviously, I'd like to see the power play execute a little bit better, but so far so good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Toronto 0 for 2 on the power play. They had 3 shots total, but of course they did get that goal from Hannah Miller, her first of the season. Right in front, testing it is Malte. Drives that draw right there. Turnbull rims it around. Howard collects it right behind the net of Soderberg. Back to Turnbull, but it's open ice and now a foot race, but Fast will get there.
Look at the efficiency of her stride. 3 strides and she's back to position in the middle of the ice. As a defender, Daniela, it is so critical that those first 3 strides in transition are fast, and she's arguably the best in the world at it.
And here she is again. Boston, Shirley trying to get there on the forecheck.
Oh, Fratkin with a hit at the blue line. I'd say that's open ice contact, though. I've seen her lay it out a few times now, shutting down the blue line.
Well, they play on now, but Darkangelo can't keep it on her stick. She's getting bothered by Spooner, Flanagan.
Well, part of Toronto's success has been their motion and that first pass and then hitting the wide side, and it's creating speed on entry.
Maggie Connors was open to carry it over the blue line that time, near side. It's Boston as well, getting caught up in the speed. Pelkey, she got that overtime winner in Montreal. A big first win for Boston this season. Again, just their 3rd game. Natalie Spooner takes it herself. She carries, she shoots. And a big kick save by Soderberg. Pushes it far side.
I'm not sure about the scouting report. Everyone's going blocker side right now. We've seen Miller do it twice, and as well as Spooner coming down that right side of the ice.
Jessie Comfort will try. Or will she? She'll take it back behind instead. Plenty of pressure by Jessica DiGirolamo. And Toronto finds themselves in front of that loose puck. Barak working it back in the Toronto zone. Leslie to Fast. Caught right there, though. And Boston now.
I want to see Fast minutes at the end of this game. She's playing a ton, isn't she?
Absolutely. Seems like it. Seems like she's just out there the entire time. Costa hoping to create something there for Boston. Keller will take it from the center line.
That is a great play by Megan Keller. She read that fast break. She read exactly where Leslie was, and she stepped up.
Sophie Jakes from behind her own net here. Gerard tries to tee it up, disrupted by Jess Jones. And Toronto finding themselves chasing down Gerard. Lynn Lavelle settles it. Up to Vasco now. Willoughby drives it in front. It's stopped by Soderberg.
Well, the key there is how Willoughby slashes across the ice with speed to be able to present her forehand, and when she does, she's able to break in.
Flanagan up to Malte along the near side in blue, chips it down off the end boards. Sydney Morin flies up. Morin and Mueller were tied for shots on goal here for Boston coming into this. Brittany Howard facing that pressure from Boston back behind their net. Mueller also out there, number 11. And Turnbull turns it back. Boston gets a stick on it.
Well, Boston's doing a good job of keeping this puck on the perimeter, and yes, it's been in their zone, but no damage, no harm, no foul when you can't get to the middle of the ice.
And Monroe tees it up. Mueller back at it. Shirley far side drives it wide, and Nurse will collect it back behind the net of Campbell nearly. But Knight in the mix too for Boston. Brandt.
Well, anytime you're in your own zone, you're along the boards, and you've separated player from puck, that second quick. The second person in has to read whether you're vulnerable or not and be able to pick up that loose puck.
Trying to read it, and big pass up to Brandt. Getting plenty of defensive pressure from Fast. Now Knight has it. along the goal line, has to tee it back near side this time.
You saw DiGirolamo come in as well and just read that, get to the tops of the circles, puts it in. We talked to Courtney Kessel about her as well and said she should have her sights on 2030 in terms of making the national team, Olympics. The world is her oyster, a young defender who's got a lot of growth ahead of her.
Now Leslie, she tries to play it, getting held up by Pelkey. Boston bats it in. Final 2 minutes here in the opening frame, a fast first period at Mattamy. Rattray tees it up for Keller. Keller coming in close. Forced to redirect along the goal line fast, carries it out now. Back up to Hannah Miller, the goal scorer so far for Toronto.
Well, Rebecca Leslie, you saw her charge up the right side of the wall, so that's exactly what Toronto's trying to do on their exit. They're trying to fly the zone on the strong side, so the same side of the puck, try and push back the D to open up room.
Keller takes it from Soderberg, tries to tee up Schaffsel. Gable, now Mueller. She's got some space, can't quite. Tees it up, long shot there. And Sophie Jakes forces the action behind the net of Campbell. Final minute here, winding down in the first period, and Boston with pressure. They want that equalizer early. Howard chips it down, Brown.
See how tightly connected Brown was to the play. That's what you like to see. You have a gap. Now all of a sudden you can corral the puck and put it back in, and there she goes, diving down the wall.
But it's Turnbull now taking it away. She's got speed, carrying it. Drop pass to Monroe. Boston brings it back the other way. Fast and Spooner in blue. Along the near wall, kept in. Morin. Shirley's there. Same with Knight. Still plenty of time, Boston. Mueller tees up DiGirolamo. And Captain Hillary Knight looking for her first point of the season. Gets stopped. Spooner scoops it up. Dishes it down. And the clock winds down on a massive opening period for Toronto and a 1-0 lead over Boston.
Well, and the shots are 10-3 on goal, and they've been led by their veterans. We opened with Larocque and Fast, and certainly they have had their best period of hockey so far in terms of starting a game. The way they've moved, they've really dictated pace by being closely connected. And for Boston, they started to find some rhythm near the end. You don't want to give them some puck touches. They got 4 lines. They've got 3 D pairs that can make you pay.
Larocque and Leslie notched their second assists of the season on that Hannah Miller goal to get things going. When we return, we'll hear from a Toronto player and tee up some great Boston action. See what they're doing out in the community. Lots happening here at Mattamy. It's 1-0 for the home team through the first period. Athletic Center. Toronto leads Boston 1-0 through the first period. I'm joined now by Boston's Megan Keller. Megan, talk about a first-time meeting with Toronto. Is this kind of the pace and speed and physicality you were expecting?
Yeah, we knew we were going to face a tough team tonight. We knew they were going to come out fast, play physical, so it's no shocker here. We just have to clean a few things up, simplify our game a little bit, and come back ready for the second.
Can you give me some examples of what you would like to clean up, Megan? Although you've been playing really well, Cheryl Pounder calling out a lot of your plays so far in the first period.
Yeah, I mean, their D are pretty aggressive on the walls in our D zone, so if we could help our forwards out a little bit, have some cleaner breakouts, and hopefully send them on a few rushes, that'd be good.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
This is Boston's third game in the PWHL, and they've been already getting to work in the community. Kaylee Fratkin has already been making an impact where it matters.
And what's your name? Kira. Kira? Kira, how old are you? 8. 8? Wow. You're old. You're older than me. I'm just kidding. Woo, good shot. Woo! Nice. Hey, that's pretty good. Mohawk? High five. Did you guys get a lot of snow? Did you make any snowman? I did. I did like snow angels. I built a snowman. Did you just wash the ice?
Bar down.
Oh, bar down. Please sign my stick. There you go. Wow. I have to put this up in the Hall of Fame now.
I'm pretty cool.
You are pretty cool.
These are our besties.
The besties?
How old are you?
How old do you think I am? 20?
26?
Keep going.
Huh? 21. Oh, I know.
31.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were 28.
Oh, thank you. I'm flattered. Yeah. Those are nice gloves. Your pants, your PJs. That's a first. Look how small these gloves are. We just like how small your gloves are. Ours are like twice the size. See ya, bestie.
And some great young players here at Mattamy Athletic Center in the first intermission. Right now, Toronto leading Boston 1-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside Mattamy Athletic Center, where Toronto, the home team, has a 1-0 lead. And it really has been the road warriors of the PWHL that seem to have the upper hand, Cheryl. And that all changed last night in Montreal, at least seemingly, of course, as a home team in Canada got their first win. But it's all thanks as well to the play of a star that everyone has had their eye on since hearing about this league and knowing she'd be part of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Marie-Philippe Poulin, everyone said, oh, she's a little bit slow. She hasn't been scoring. Well, guess what? She's going to score. She's going to score in bunches. Stick on the ice, going right to the paint. That's exactly what she does. How about the give? Get it back for all the kids out there, the good habits. Her stick in front of the goal line, right around the net. And then, of course, she cashes in. She converts with the empty 4x6. That doesn't miss the twine. Why? Because she's Marie-Philippe Poulin.
And that was all that went down in New York, January 10th. Of course, earning her the first star of the week.
Well, and deservedly so, and she is synonymous with Captain Clutch. But Ella Shelton, of course, the defender for New York, I mean, she is so shut down, but she activates as well, putting up some numbers. But Taylor Heisey, her 2 goals were talked about and talked about. Highlight reel goals, talking about why she was a World Championship MVP and the overall first pick in the first ever draft. But to get us going, we're going to go back to last night's game in Montreal. The recap, the gold medal game winner with Poulin, with you and Becky.
Montreal makes history. The first Canadian PWHL team to win at home. Their home opener spoiled on Saturday at Verdun Auditorium. So in front of a crowd of 6,000 at Place Belle, they get it done. And it all comes down to some early momentum.
Montreal got on the board quick and in quick succession, and they took advantage of some turnovers, good work down low, and got themselves open in the slot. And then they came right back down the ice, and then they got this goal. That's a beautiful point shot. Leah Lum into traffic, and that really set the tone for this game going into the second period as well.
The physical play, that was certainly part of the story of tonight. Both New York and Montreal, they had faced each other less than a week before tonight.
Well, the rivalry is already starting to build. You can see that in this game. You got some hard net drives, you got some good board play, a few big hits, some tempers flaring. There's a lot of emotion when these two teams play, especially in front of a crowd like this.
So while New York able to tie it up, it is the captain.
Marie-Philippe Poulin gets it done again, and you watch her here. She turns back quick on a dime, gets that stick open, and is able to find the back of the net on a beautiful feed from her line mate, Maureen Murphy.
And of course, it just changes the narrative slightly on the home advantage. That has been missing from the PWHL. Heading into this game, in the first 10 games, 8 of them won by road teams, and so that changes here tonight.
Oh, it certainly does. And look at this crowd. It had to have helped this Montreal team. You got a loud, passionate crowd that's cheering, they're booing, and they're making your life good. And it's tough on New York.
Well, last night's big 3-point regulation win for Montreal bumps them up in the stands. As you can see, just 1 point back now from Minnesota.
Well, yeah, I mean, Montreal, you know that they've got Poulin on their team, got Amrene Desbiens in net, and of course, Alex Carpenter, Abby Rock, and how about Ottawa? I don't know. They're going to be a dark horse for me, led by Carla McLeod.
And right now, they are up 2-0. Another home team striking early through the first period there. That game also starting 7 p.m. Eastern, just like this one in Toronto. So maybe the narrative is shifting now for the home ice advantage. Of course, plenty of hockey still to be played. And again, the standings, those regulation wins just absolutely huge for the 3 points.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, you're trying to get those regulation wins. You have to have a way to capitalize on your opportunities. Listen, all of these games are going to be close, and we certainly know that. And because they're going to be close, you have to have good habits. We heard Blair Turnbull talk about the habits, the process, but at the end of the day, it's a results-oriented business, and you got to score, and you got to win the game.
And of course, the stars are emerging early here in the league. And in fact, on Monday, the All-Star Showcase teams were announced. It caused a great big buzz. Take a look at Team King, named, of course, for Billie Jean King.
I mean, isn't it perfect to have her lead with this team? But players like Megan Keller, I've mentioned that she is the best transitional skater in the world. She closes so fast. We talked about players like Blair Turnbull, 200-foot players who know how to get it done. Hilary Knight, I mean, what more can she do on the international stage? Tonight, Alina Mueller looking hot out there, distributing the puck. She can also score. The list goes on and on. I also think Lee Stecklein is arguably the greatest one-on-one defender in the world. We can go on and on. Team Kloss as well. Alex Carpenter plays with a chip, and anytime she's around the net, you can expect that she will be harder on the puck. You go to Sarah Nurse. I think she's been outstanding tonight so far, really dictating pace for Toronto, and that's why she holds the Olympic record in point totals. Jocelyn Larocque, Renata Fast, they will be a pairing on the back end. I think they've really been dynamic tonight. I think this is the best game for them so far, but you can expect them to shut down, play with an edge, even at the Showcase 3-on-3 All-Star game.
And all that action gets going Thursday, February 1st, part of the NHL All-Star Weekend. We'll be back with more from Mattamy as Toronto leads 1-0 over Boston in their first meeting in the PWHL. The PWHL is brought to you by Canadian Tire, Canada's store and proud founding partner of the PWHL. For the first time, Toronto stepping into the second period of a game with a lead. 1-0 right now over Boston in their first meeting. And first period stats brought to you by Sport Check. The lone goal scorer, Hannah Miller, so far her first goal on the season. Jocelyn Larocque, Rebecca Leslie adding helpers to it. And shots on goal lopsided, Toronto with 10, 3 for Boston through 20.
Well, and I thought that Toronto certainly dictated pace, and it was led by Jocelyn Larocque and Renata Fast. And look at the shielding, the way she gets her right leg out there to be able to do the cutback, and then a little bit of a melee, and you can see the hand-eye coordination of Miller to just tap that one out of the air. But I love this. This is the edge. Look at Renata Fast. She goes down, uses her skates, shields a puck from below the goal line, and creates a scoring opportunity there. And it's all about jumping into the pocket after that lost coverage by Alexa Vasco. But playing physical and finding ways to create offense. And Troy Ryan talked about manufacturing offense. Well, there's 2 golden opportunities coming from his veteran leadership on the back end.
And again in net tonight for Boston with her first start is Emma Soderberg. But it is Toronto that scores first. She faced 10 shots and doesn't really tell the full story of the pressure, of course, because plenty of block shots as well.
Well, certainly, and Emma Soderberg knows how to win hockey games, and no one has to look any further against that quarterfinal at the World Championship in Brampton, where Sweden nearly knocked off Canada, and you can have a look between the pipes, because that was the young woman who stood tall in the crease, and on the other side, Kristen Campbell. Sometimes when you don't have a lot of shots, it can be difficult to manage the puck, track it when you're not busy, but both goaltenders have been strong in the first period. There's no question about it.
And Boston does have the slight edge on hits. They're 10-7 through the first period, and we get underway here for the second frame. Right away, Jakes tees it up. She's got Knight out there too. What fast speed from Gable. I'll drive the action early here for Boston. Nurse takes it away. She drops it back for Connor, shoots. What a save into the near corner. The rebound goes.
And again, just quick puck movement. Sometimes a simple pass is an effective one, and you create speed off of it, and that's how they got the entry. Sarah Nurse driving play from the outside. Little cross drop. Connors is right there.
And now Boston is trying to get their sticks on it. They're in the Toronto zone. Jakes on the line. And that one just bounces off. Megan Keller was right there. Of course, had a chance to talk to her top of the first intermission.
Nice job by Jakes there just to recognize where Connors was and stand her up. You want to shut down speed, you take it away in the neutral zone.
Icing call, we'll bring it back.
We talk about Sarah Nurse and her speed and how she's directing play, and it all starts on the back end. She's moving Renata Fastas, headbands and puck, and look at her on the outside. She knows who's coming in behind her, so she actually continues on. So Jakes has to take her on the cross and drop, and now all of a sudden Connor's ice opens up for that lane. She takes the shot. So starting from the back end with a simple quick up to Nurse moving with speed, but I like the switches. I like those crosses, really disrupts coverage.
The draw will be in the Boston zone. Not an icing, a penalty rather. Hillary Knight as well for Boston. So this is Toronto's third power play of the game, unable to score on the first two, as the Boston penalty kill stays perfect. And again, a shorthanded goal frees a player from the penalty box, but haven't been a shorthanded chance yet. Boston just trying to clear the puck out, and as I say that, it looked like they were trying to get right to it. Boston. Now Turnbull. She sends it around the end boards. Malte battling for it. Puck goes up high, lands in. And now Gerard, she's already got a shorthanded goal. She'll take it around. Grant teed up in the slot, with the puck freed from the wall from Toronto. Behind the net. Sarah Nurse surveys. Carries it up. She's got Connors right there. Connors looking for her first point of the season. First goal.
Again, they're able to get in because they bring those four players back and they have some speed. Natalie Spooner is all the way at the offensive blue line, circles into the Boston zone, so she's driven the D back. They have to honor her, and now that leaves the entire neutral zone to gain entry.
So Renata Fast will take this one up, and then Connors feeling that pressure from DiGirolamo. Boston looking to stay perfect here, but Fast. And now LaRock shoots that one up high. Connors gets it. Passes it up to Fast, but Pelkey with a hit. And it's a costly one.
It's going to be a roughing call here, and with only 4 seconds remaining on the power play for Toronto. Fast is going to go to the penalty box, so Boston will have a power play, and it's just coming right there. She takes a shoulder and just retaliates back, and the official is right there. A little bit of frustration, and the original penalty on Hillary Knight, and not so sure about that after everything that is being let go.
Toronto penalty number 14.
So right now it's 4-on-4, but final seconds winding down, and so Hillary Knight is out on the ice and immediately into the mix. She's on the near side. Big shot by Mueller. That gets saved by Campbell. Reads it all the way through traffic.
Well, and Boston operating, they've got 3 players up high, and now all of a sudden they're diving down with some speed. You can see the flank looking, and they get the shot on net. Now they can go to the net, and Hannah Brandt right in the wheelhouse of Kristen Campbell, just looking to collect any garbage, but there's none as she holds on.
So Toronto able to get the loose puck from that draw, and yes, we're going back and forth as now Boston is on their first power play of the game. They've got Knight out there, just freed from that penalty box. Or released, rather. Shirley sends it around, far side. Now a chance. Keller feeds it to Knight, shoots, and again Campbell locks it down.
And Hillary Knight was kind of waiting because she knew that no one was net front, but she elects to take the shot anyways. The puck works back to her. She recognizes that Jocelyn Larocque gets out to the dot, and as a defender, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to get out to the dot, try and keep play on the outside, and allow your goaltender to see it. Well, Kristen Campbell saw that one all the way.
Well, Rattray took that draw. Boston maintaining their presence in the offensive zone for this power play. The high stick will bring the play back.
It's going to be on Lauriane Rougeau, a veteran of Canada's national team. She's back in uniform, playing here in Toronto, and played the 2014 Olympics. She's got a gold medal.
Sarah Nurse takes that draw, wins it for Toronto, but again, it is 5-on-4 for Boston. Marvin.
You could see Gable coming in high, so they were 3 up high, and again, just trying to spread the penalty kill out a little bit, and when you attack down to the net, when you start up high, you've got a little bit of speed.
Marvin up to Gable. Larocque getting into the mix, digging it out. Board battle. Spooner in there too in blue. Rattray trying to get her stick on it for Boston. It's Rattray and Monroe back behind the net. Trim it around. Morin tries to free it off the far wall. Has it now. Rattray. She's got a big shot up high off the glass. Schaffsall with a big shot. Marvin. Back to Morin. Morin through traffic. Turned away by Campbell, and again in front of the net this time. Boston getting in close. Schaffsall right in front. That one, Gable. Just chips high.
Well, Jamie Lee Rattray works from one side all the way to the other.
And here comes Renata fast near side. Tries to use her edgeward to get by. Boston takes it away. Knight, far side. Plenty of pressure from Turnbull and Rougeau. And we're back to even strength, by the way. Both teams perfect on the PK and in front. That could have been a chance for Toronto. Turnbull batting it in. She's got some space, and Howard can't get her stick on it. Boston comes free. Winskowski circles back along the near wall. Keller tees it up and in front again. Keller calling for it. Mueller's as well in the slot. Knight back behind. Winskowski adding that pressure for Boston. Looking for the equalizer here in the second period. Toronto hoping to clear it up with patience, and Blair Turnbull. Boston again right in front. That one a big space saver there in the Malte, but the chase is on Brittany Howard, and they go sliding together. An interference call. And right now, Toronto still with a 1-0 lead and headed on the power play after this.
Well, the captain, Blair Turnbull, has a burst of speed, and it all starts below the goal line. And this is a clinic on how to use the net. Look, she's having a look, seeing exactly where the pressure is coming from. And two forecheckers, she takes the middle of the ice on the split and then she continues on through the middle of the ice. You want to drive coverage back, but it's the angle that she takes to present her forehand. Perfect job by Blair Turnbull to create some space. And then again, there's going to be a call on Fratkin as Howard is a race for the puck. You have an opportunity to get to that puck, or you need to, and that's going to be an interference call, sending Toronto back to yet another power play.
So 0 for 3 on the power play before this. It's something that head coach Troy Ryan said in the first period. Yeah, they gotta really capitalize on. So here they go, a chance here to widen that gap. LaRock from the point. Boston's Emily Brown is right there.
She's been aggressive, and she's been very strong for Boston, just closing quickly, using her stick to steer. What you want to do, push to the outside. Note also Sarah Nurse in the bumper spot, not on the flank. Maggie Connors acting in that flank spot.
You can have all the designs you want for a power play, but Boston's penalty kill is shining as well in this game. And Nurse now cutting through. She's got some room. Pass as Connors will tee it up, but they'll send it around. Spooner out there.
Toronto's doing a good job getting into the zone, which is rare. You know, it's hard to get in. That's the #1 set. But once they do get in, they're coming under intense pressure, and they're not getting grade A scoring chances.
Spooner sends it to Howard. Howard now trying to find her space, top of the circle. Sends it the other way. Big shot by Hannah Miller, but Soderberg is all over it.
Well, and that's exactly what you want. You need a goaltender like Soderberg going side to side, left to right, east, west. You got to make her move, because if you're shooting square to her, she's going to stop it. And that's a nice play by Brittany Howard to take space, walk to the middle of the ice. She gets all the coverage to float towards her on one side. They come to her, so then she hits Miller on that back door, but Soderberg read it perfectly.
Toronto on their 4th power play here. Sending it back and forth. Howard sets up the shot. That one just wide. Miller can't get her stuck on a Flanagan, chases it down. But talk about Soderberg as well. Just incredible for Minnesota Duluth, and she might get tested again. Toronto brings the action right down deep. 20 seconds left here on this 4th power play. That first goal, by the way, even strength for Toronto. Far wall. Howard and Keller getting into it. Malte try to do it for the team in blue. Miller settles it back. Passes forward to Turnbull. Keller turns it away, and we're back at even strength. So 4 for 4 on the penalty kill for Boston.
And some miscues too on the shot. Howard's had 2 or 3 misses.
Comfer skates it around, sends it back to Willoughby. Willoughby's had a good look already in this game. Near wall, up high, towards the net. DiGirolamo beats Willoughby to it. And Keller now to Costa. LaRock tries to keep it in on the blue line. It catches bodies.
And you see all 5 players back in the picture, if you will. And once that puck turns over, they're all hanging out at the blue line. They're forcing that dump in.
Morin just sends it down deep fast. Back to Comfer. Toronto trying to work it out of their own zone. Boston has it. Knight is right there as well on the ice. She's in the slot. Knight up to Morin. Back behind the net. Mueller too, right there. And Campbell gets her glove on it, and of course, some words, some pushing and shoving will have to take place.
Well, they've met on the international stage before. Alina Mueller with Switzerland, and of course, Renata Fast on the back end for Canada. Now you're Toronto versus Boston, and
she looks like she's having fun.
They're having fun. Of course, they're having fun. And Jocelyn LaRock is even smiling as she talks to the official. And Renata Fast plays with an edge. There's no question about it. And so does Alina Mueller. When you're one of the most gifted goal scorers in the world, you know that you're going to come under intense pressure if you get in and around the goaltender. And Renata Fast just made sure that she just didn't get another tap at Kristen Campbell.
Big opportunity here for Boston, though, right in the opposite. As I say that, Toronto able to free that puck and get it out of their own zone. Sent all the way back in by Emily Brown. Monroe Pass to Sarah Nurse now. Sarah Nurse with 1 goal on the season.
I like Emily Brown's game, and she's been real strong so far. When you go up to against athletes like Natalie Spooner, are really strong off of the forecheck. And Emily Brown done a nice job so far, taking away all the angles of the ice. Of course, Brown played at the U18 World Championships, won gold back in 2016. Also won the Cardinal Rivalry Series.
Keller takes it near side this time. She's got pressure from Spooner. And again, Toronto takes it away. Nurse to Monroe through the skates. Monroe keeps it down deep in the Boston zone. Those shots on goal spreading out here as Toronto 14-6. They have had 4 power plays to just 1 for Boston. Both teams perfect on the penalty kill. Howard with speed over to Turnbull, coming in close. Turnbull right there in front of the net in a collision. But Boston moves it back the other way, nearly does. Rougeau able to save it there for Toronto, sending it back towards the net of Soderberg. Another chance, potentially. Emma Malte up to fast Larocque again. Pelkey trying to get low off the body. Comfer set up right in front of the net too, and there, chipped off. Soderberg got a piece of it. Malte. Pass back. And that physical hits continue. Boston had the edge in the first period on that physical play. Now Spooner tees it up. Big shot down. Oh, and it bounces the crowd. Watching it. Now fast again. Skates backwards in through. Comfer right there. Larocque as well. And the loose puck gets away from the net. Fast collects it. Toronto again looking to add to their lead. And what a block by Pelkey there, just sacrificing her body for Boston.
Well, there's 3 beautiful plays by Renata Fast to open up her own lane, and that's just her edge work along the blue line and having the patience to outweight the stick. And what I mean by that, get the stick to move of your opponent and then take your lane, and she can do that because with 1 stride, she can open it.
Toronto seemingly coming alive at night, the first nighttime game at Mattamy. Now Sarah Nurse getting in close to the net. She feeds it through. Connors chips it up high. What a chance. Monroe to Connors again, and there's some space for Spooner in front. Teed up to Connors.
Almost the same play as Nurse. One is a left though and one is a right, so the shield was just a bit different.
Spooner again to Connors. Now Boston. My goodness.
Connors getting teed up.
Now Gable, she's got Mueller right there, shoots, and they score! Boston does it. They get on the board in Toronto after playing their hearts out to stop another Toronto goal on the other end.
Well, and this is like a 4-point play in basketball. Look at the shield and then the feeds, and Connors who just misses the net. The puck goes the other way, and when it does, that's Alina Mueller. Yes, we talked about her off the top. Look at her awareness, the pop off of the boards. And Lauren Gable, one of the reasons why they moved Knight off of her line, she looked to only feed Knight, and she's got one of the best releases in the world. They want this woman shooting the puck. Everywhere she goes, she scores. She picks that top cheddar shelf, and she nails it. And you saw it in the celly. That's going to be her first. But the PHF MVP last year, 40 points in 22 games. That puck is on her stick. It hops off in a hurry.
Now Lauren Gable, what a beauty of a first goal. But Turnbull wants to turn the tide, get that lead right back. She forces the play behind the net of Soderberg. Campbell hardly facing the same volume of shots. Exactly half at this point, but drove the action down. Now Howard getting spun around in blue. Morin chips it off the near wall this time. Larocque. And Emily Brown. She looks for a big stretch pass to Rattray.
Well, you talk about the chemistry of line mates, and Alina Mueller, just her awareness through the neutral zone and knowing exactly where Gable was on the ice. And look at this, the sliding. Callie Flanagan, and picking the top shelf is Lauren Gable. And That's what she's known for, Daniela, is that quick release, but getting to the spots on the ice to be able to get that shot off, and a more physical game, so process and learning here, but man, did she ever bury that.
Brandt wins the defensive zone draw for Boston, but still got to dig it out, and there's Jess Jones working back and forth, trying to find that space far side. Willoughby looking to get her stick on it. Vasco calling for it in the slot. Now Jones again. They'll try to find that movement. What a feed there. Big shot. No, Rougeau plays patient, shoots. She's got Willoughby far side. Back on the goal line, Jess Jones in close. Vasco for Toronto, back behind the net of Soderberg. Morin passes it back to Brown, up to Rattray. They connect that time. Rattray rims it around.
Well, she's forced to in as Flanagan comes off the bench in a hurry and closes quickly.
But now Keller able to tee it back. Jake's trying to get it out, and Comfer with control and a big shot to Leslie. Talked about it before. Those two are besties on and off the ice.
Well, and Comfort in front of the net and along the boards. Excellent.
Now Nicole Costa. She's looking for the feed. Jake's right there off Comfer that time. Now Hannah Miller. She open scoring for Toronto.
Eyes up, eyes up!
She looks for the pass. That one picked off by Boston, and now Gerard.
Well, you got to manage the puck. It's a 1-1 game, and the blue line turnovers, they're killers. Got to make sure anytime you get to the Blues,
Here
hold the
comes
puck.
Sarah Nurse this time, but that Boston wall closes right in. Forcing Toronto back into their own zone this time. Fast, just covering bodies, smothering the play, and so Toronto takes it. Spooner now tries to get that by Fracken. Hillary Knight with plenty of room. She'll shoot wide. Boston again. Fracken looking for space on the ice. Mueller tries to get her stick on it, and Knight and Connors both come down on that one.
After making a nice play, Fracken just fires that up the boards. I think she could have used the width of the ice and gone back to her partner, DiGirolamo.
Fast again. We've been saying her name all over the ice in this game. Nurse plays it up to LaRocque, back to Connors.
You're seeing the connection there on the entry. Just 3 4-foot passes, little pop plays, and that's how you keep your speed.
Now DiGirolamo getting hounded by Howard. And Nurse. No, Monroe actually shooting towards the net that time. Flanagan keeps it in on the blue, but chipped down by Fratkin.
We were talking off the top about Alina Mueller and Lauren Gable. Let's have a little look-see at their numbers at school at Clarkson. For Lauren Gable, 213 points in 160 games, and Alina Mueller, 254 in 159 games with Northeastern. So
how is that real?
And now they're together.
How is that real?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Dual threat. Pick your poison.
Well, Toronto hoping to score off the draw. Monroe tees it up. Soderberg. She's got it with a big save. And so in the second period, it is Boston who gets on the board. We're all tied up at 1 here at Mattamy. Boston head coach Courtney Kessel. We chatted just before the game. You talked about Lauren Gable's shot. So when you saw that go in, is that exactly what you've been anticipating?
Yeah, I think we've been waiting for that these last 2 games, so it was really good to see her put that one away.
And overall, a bit of a shift here in the second period. Are you happy with how your team's putting things together?
Yeah, definitely. We got to stay out of the box. You know, it's killing our momentum, but we're doing well here. We got 3 minutes left.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Killing momentum, but her team has been so good on the penalty kill when you consider Toronto's first goal having to come at even strength, and they've had 4 chances with a player advantage, but here they are again, 5-on-5, and in the Boston zone, Leslie circles back, tees up Monroe. Getting in on it, or at least Comfort trying to get on Pelkey. Pelkey poised, but again, Anna Miller, she shoots wide. Monroe tests Soderberg off the pad that time, and again, Toronto regains on the rebound. Leslie circles back, 2 number 19s at it. All of the pressure, that one by Marvin. Now Connors has the puck for Toronto, drops it back to Leslie. Leslie with a little feed to Flanagan. She shoots, no, that one behind the net. Now Flanagan again. She was hoping for a wraparound, maybe a little tip-in action. And the puck is loose. Poulin LaBelle protects for Toronto as Marvin sends it back.
Well, Gigi Marvin, the 3-time Olympian, been to 7 world championships. I mean, the list goes on and on. The 36-year-old, she's back on the ice. Love it.
And then 35-year-old LaRock, she sends it back. And we talk about veterans of this game. So much star power on the ice. Here comes Jakes. She sends it to Mueller, and we will be right back with the final 2 minutes of the second period, all tied at 1. Nothing beats watching your favorite team live. Get tickets to PWHL games and catch all of the action. Visit thepwhl.com/tickets to secure your seats today. And in the stands here at Mattamy, the family of Toronto's Renata Fast. If you're looking from left or right, her husband, 2 brothers, and then her mom, Sharon, dad, Doug, and they're all here to see her playing one of her best games yet.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a dynamo on the ice. I just like that she's moving the puck when she should. She's activating and controlling those entries when she can. And she's taking shots when the lanes open up. So doing it all on both ends of the ice.
Emma Malte thought she had some room, but she just gets squeezed out. Tries to get it back. Keller with the pressure for Boston. Turnbull has it. And Gable to clear it out. Mueller will take it from the neutral zone now. Mueller, she was looking for the off the post. That was a big time moment there. What a saucer over to Howard. down deep in the Boston zone.
Howard took a double take, looked twice just to see if she had anyone joining her on that rush.
Got Mueller again, and a big shot by Keller. It's good! Boston scores! And it's Megan Keller who does it.
Well, Megan Keller, she is so offensive, but she jumps into the holes on the ice, and this is the high ice, and it comes right from the other end, just throwing it into the middle of the ice in the quick transition. And anytime you're moving and you're entering, look at the stall and the slow up by Mueller. Why? She wants to draw the coverage to her, and she does. When you swipe your stick, she's going to move that puck to the inside. Look at this slow up. She's looking, she's scanning, pulling it to the middle of the ice on Flanagan, and gets all of the coverage to sag. That's exactly what she wants to do. This is IQ for Alina Mueller. She steps outside the dots to draw that coverage, to open up that space for Megan Keller to pop into it perfectly. And the veteran leader who leads the back end for the United States, one shot, and she buries it, and she's certainly pinnacle on the blue line for this Boston team. And talked about their offense and how lethal it is. It's even tougher when the back end jumps in.
The officials, of course, making sure everything was good on that. It was, you could hear it. You could hear the ring, the crossbar, and
it certainly won't be goaltender interference, as don't believe that anyone did touch the goaltender. Matter of whether there was a redirect. It looked from our vantage point that the puck did go directly in at the Megan Keller shot, but we'll have another look at it. Alina Mueller, that's just heavy IQ. We talk about her distribution, her small space skills, draws everyone, sagging coverage, and that's it. The twine moves. And that's a good goal.
Yeah, tickle the twine, it's all it takes. And so Boston now with a 2-1 lead in Toronto. This is where Toronto has been before, of course. Team from behind. They have one win on the season in their first 4 games. Again, they are out shooting Boston at this time, 15-7.
Last minute of play, the second period.
In Toronto. Goes back Leslie now. She'll take it away. She shoots towards the net. Soderberg with the save. My goodness, Jesse Comfer as well. Wow, he's coming in close.
We talk about Comfer being in and around the goaltender, and she gets lost in coverage, and she does a real good job. I've been watching her all game, just getting her stick on that. The extra whack, though, she's lucky she didn't get the call here, but just getting in behind the coverage. You can see DiGirolamo kind of fronting her and watching her all game long, just trying to manipulate space in and around Soderberg, changing up her body position to be able to get her stick on the puck.
44 seconds left here in the second period. A big one for Boston, despite all the pressure from Toronto. And so we'll come back to the Toronto zone. Mueller there, Knight as well on the ice. Marvin sends it back around, Captain Knight. Looks for Mueller this time. Mueller, Brown, back over to Morin in front, traffic. Spooner hopes to clear it. Toronto. Nurse. She'll circle back, slow it down. Final seconds here in the second period. Nurse would like to get things going. Connors with the feed that time. Spooner far side, sends it back. Backhand. Nurse shoots, and what a save by Soderberg to close out the second period. And really, Soderberg is such a big part of this story for Boston. Look at the shots on goal. She has made 16 saves to Campbell's 6. And right now, Boston in the lead 2-1.
Well, yeah, and this Boston team really came out firing, and it was led by Lauren Gable, and then from the back end, it was Megan Keller, but that late rush by Sarah Nurse just coming through the middle of the ice, and then dishing to Maggie Connors. It's an unbelievable feed and chemistry between those two right now. And we have a 1-goal game, Daniela, heading into the third.
Yes,
Where would you rather be?
My goodness, Mueller with 2 assists in the game so far. Gable with 2 points, a goal and an assist. We'll be back with more from Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto.
What's up, Leafs fans? Another awesome night here on TSI. Thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us. Please don't forget to hit that like button, as it helps bring more Leafs fans into the chat. The more the better. A big shout out to our insiders and VIP members. Your support is truly appreciated. I cannot explain to you what it means for this community. Please consider joining our community. It's only 99 cents a month. I made it as low as possible so that we can get more and more people joining our community. Awesome member exclusive emojis in the chat during these Leafs games, and add your name to the scroll down below. Anyways, enough of the necessary evils to keep growing this amazing Toronto sports community and Maple Leafs community. Back to Leafs hockey. Go Leafs go. I'll see you guys in the chat. Peace.
Welcome back. So it's 2-1 for Boston in the second, or after the second period, rather. I'm joined now by Toronto's Kaylee Flanagan. And Kaylee, the team has looked so together through these first 40, but what are you seeing out on the ice?
Yeah, I think this has been our best 40 minutes so far. I think obviously a couple of little blips there, but I think for us, just getting back into that momentum and getting back on the other side of the score sheet is going to be huge for us. But I know this team is really starting to come together, starting to gel, feel some chemistry, and so it's been a lot of fun out there tonight so far.
4 games played heading into this one, and Toronto has been in this position before, trailing. What are you going to do, or what are you focusing in on for this final period?
Yeah, I think, again, like I said, getting back to how we were in the first period, just moving pucks, working together as a team. And like I said before, we're really starting to come together as a team. And so I think that's what's going to be really important for us in this third period is, just playing together as a team, being energetic, supporting each other and getting some pucks to the net. And I think, things will start to come together for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, the PWHL Toronto has had a chance to come together as a team off the ice and recently got to do something uniquely Toronto.
We're not even 2 weeks old, but I can say so far the response, the journey, it has been nothing short of amazing. For every young girl who chooses to put on skates or wants to be a part of hockey, whether it's as a player, a coach, an official, an executive, a leader, there's a place for them in hockey now. And so to know that something has been created that has changed everything for any young girl or woman that wants to be in hockey, and it has changed societal norms, is something that is even more meaningful than hockey itself.
Everything that we've felt from this great city has just been overwhelming and really inspiring. So it makes it very easy to wear Toronto in the front of our jerseys because the city is really behind us and we really appreciate that. Being a part of this community, seeing the next generation, being able to inspire the next generation to play this great game of women's hockey. So no, from our perspective, we want to represent this city with pride, passion, and professionalism in everything we do. So thank you for the journey. Thanks for inviting us here at TMX Group, and we look forward to an incredible season ahead. Thank you.
Well, the hometown Toronto out shooting Boston 18-9 through the first 40, but it's Boston on top 2-1 here in the second intermission. Right now, Boston leading Toronto 2-1 through the first 2 periods. And one of the great things about the PWHL is all the international stars. And check this out, 28 players on the rosters between these two teams have competed at U18 tournaments since the inaugural year in 2008, Cheryl.
Well, I think it's amazing. And when you're a young athlete and you can aspire to play at the U18 level, it just changes the flavor of the game and the international landscape. And when you can develop at the young age, guess what? The senior team is certainly in your aspirations. But now you have the PWHL as well for these players to continue to foster their development so they no longer have to leave school and leave the game. So I certainly think the national teams are going to start to get older.
And speaking of national teams and looking at what's happening with Czechia, you're seeing the gains in the senior team, but on that U18 level, what a big upset, or rather, what a big gain for Czechia in this year's U18 tournament.
Well, it was absolutely incredible, and I always say when you start to see the U18 level change, you're gonna see the senior international levels change, and it's worked reverse as the senior team has come off back-to-back bronze medals under Carla McLeod, but Adela Shapovalivova, who was on that team, played at this U18 World Championship, and she was absolutely outstanding. Plazova, Teresa Plazova, as well as Chavalova, these athletes did everything they could to get to that gold medal game, and they send Canada back into the bronze medal, and that is significant. That is absolutely significant for the international landscape of this game. These athletes believe that they can beat the superpowers in the world, and they've done it. So now you've got Carla McLeod at the upcoming World Championship in Utica. She's got her players like Taralova, Morozova, who were very emotional when they found out that they had won that silver medal. So now all of a sudden you've got this connectivity, you've got this belief, you've got this optimism, and it's so great for the international landscape of the game.
And first time Czechia has ever played for a gold medal. That's incredible.
Yep.
But that doesn't take away from Canada's stellar performance in that tournament. Let's talk about Chloe Primerano.
Yeah, she was just outstanding, and some were saying that this is arguably the most skilled Canadian team at this level that they'd ever seen. And sometimes when you get into semifinal action, anything can happen. Last year, it was an overtime win against Finland, so the fate could have been the same. But Chloe Primerano, I think she is a generational talent in the women's game. We have not seen an athlete on the back end be able to do what she can do. She thinks 2 steps ahead. She's got a great shot. She's got incredible edge work, and just look at her point production over the course of this tournament.
Incredible.
I mean, she had eyes in the back of her head, and she had a confidence. She changed the game. She controlled the game, and I expect to see her. If we don't see her at the upcoming rivalry series, I certainly expect to see her on the international stage at the senior level at a camp at some point in the near future.
And she's, of course, part of the tournament all-stars. And just look at the names, the talents, and the different countries as well represented.
Well, and this is the great thing. Look at how many countries are represented here. As you said, Daniela, start with Anita Shenkova, the Czechia goaltender who just stood on her head. You need to have that foundational element between the pipes. We mentioned Chloe Primerano. Julie Talonen from Finland. She is outstanding on the back end, logs a ton of minutes. Eka Luoma, she was outstanding as well. Adela Shapovalivova, we talked about her for Czechia and how pivotal she was in that silver medal. And, you know, Josie St. Martin as well with the United States. She was like a dog on a bone around the net. She started games getting the first goal, and she ended them getting the last. She was incredible.
Well, Cheryl, you were part of the calls for so many of those. You can understand the passion. But a big announcement as well, the IIHF Hall of Fame, and starting with one of the builders going in. It's Mel Davidson, a name you know very well.
Oh, I know her very well, and this is so earned. She is a builder. Her passion, her whole life has been around the game and trying to build to get it to a point where there was a professional level. There was Olympics, and she was a cornerstone for it all, and I certainly had the opportunity to play under her as an assistant coach. My first ever World Championship in '94, and then, of course, she was my head coach at the '06 Olympics, so she has certainly been fundamental in the women's game. And on the other side, arguably the toughest player I have ever played against. She was on the ice on a one-on-one situation, and I was afraid, not of too many, but that woman, I certainly was. She's done it all. You know, she's been a great leader, and of course, we know what she is in the PWHL right now with Minnesota. So outstanding for her, so well deserved.
Congratulations to Davidson and Darwich. We'll be back at Mattamy, where right now Boston leads 2-1 as we head into the third. The PWHL is brought to you by Bread Financial, official inaugural partner of the PWHL. Welcome to the third period as Toronto now looks to dig out from a 2-1 deficit. And the second period stats are brought to you by Ream Canada. And there you have it for Boston. Lauren Gable with her first of the season, helped by Mueller. And Mueller's in on that second one too. Megan Keller's second of the season. Lauren Gable there as well to help.
Well, 2 primaries by Alina Mueller, and we said she was poised to break out, and she certainly has. It hasn't been in the goal department, but gifts for distribution, and this one comes off of the boards, and Lauren Gable just looking whether she should pass to Mueller. Flanagan takes away the lane on the slide, and she takes a shot, and she's like, give me some, give me some. I'm sure she's done that many times before, but again, the cross ice pass, I love this stall at the blue line. Just pull the coverage, make the move to the inside of the ice. Keller with the one-timer, and Kristen Campbell goes down, and that puck goes up high. Megan Keller, a leader on the back end. I heard her interview with you, and just poised to activate. Look for her coming down the middle as well when she hits the offensive zone.
Well, Toronto will get the first touch here in the third period. Kristen Campbell in net in blue. She has faced far fewer shots on goal. It's exactly at half here. 18-9 to start this third period. Spooner goes forward near their corner. Again, plenty of pressure by Toronto in the first 40, and right in front, Soderberg tested early in the third.
I think Sarah Nurse just wanted to see if she could get Soderberg cheating off her post a little bit there, a little bit of a trick shot.
And the Soderberg's first PWHL start. Third game for Boston overall. There was Erin Frankel in net the first 2 games. They're 1-1 on the season. And now, coming in, what a play there to stop that, Toronto. And Hannah Brandt chase it down for Boston. Along the wall, Schaffsall gets shuffled. Rattray has it, looks for the feet to Brandt. It's loose in the neutral zone. Morin scoops it back, getting bothered by Howard. Howard has it now, takes it far side. Emily Brown for Boston, and in front of the net, that one, Malte. It'll be Rattray. Boston will just dump it down. Amy Howard stopped by DiGeronimo.
And that's something DiGeronimo does extremely well. She closes quickly. Her angle was perfect. Even if she didn't lay that check on, she could have steered and taken that puck.
And chases on Comfer. Marvin gets hers to kind of Pelkey. Tees it up. She's got Shirley there, but it's Leslie. Serves it down low for Toronto in the Boston zone. And Toronto looking for the equalizer here. They open scoring. First time for them in the PWHL. Has not truly been a home ice advantage here at Mattamy.
And there's Leslie in the neutral zone. Again, we've been watching her turning and going, just moving up ice quickly.
Now Leslie, she shoots towards, back behind. Poulin LaBelle, Maggie Connors there too.
Well, Poulin LaBelle skates into the coverage and dishes it out to Leslie. Continues driving through the middle of the ice.
Now Flanagan, she tries to take it away. That'll be penalty going against Boston. A hooking call for that action, and it will be Toronto's 5th power play of the game.
Well, it's going to be a hooking call, and it's going to be just inside the offensive zone for Toronto. And it's right here, Flanagan just trying to walk the seam there, and see that Costa just gets her stick out and stops moving her feet, and is going to get the stick infraction. One of the tough ones to take. Coaches hate the stick infractions.
A big opportunity here for Toronto. They're trying to get that equalizer. Spooner out on the line. Captain Turnbull. Howard. She drives the action in front. Turnbull right there. Boston pokes it free. Now back. Malte. The speed pass to Howard. Teed up, Flanagan in front. Now again, Howard drives it in front. Soderberg, Reed. And there, Toronto just trying to bat it in. They try again. Whatever it takes. Miller out there to Flanagan from the point this time. That one off the body of Soderberg. Deflected near side. Flanagan has it. Once again for Toronto, sustained pressure. And they go around Flanagan to Howard. Howard shoots and can't get the chip in there by Turnbull. Miller takes it away. Flanagan shoots through traffic into the glove of Soderberg.
Well, Soderberg has been able to find the puck. She's tracked extremely well, but sometimes it's a fortuitous bounce, and there's a little bit of a melee in front of the net on the power play here by Toronto as the puck comes out. You see the backhand by Howard on net. Soderberg can't find it. Look at her sprawling the athleticism, and it's gonna be Moran who gets down and blocks that, keeps that puck out of the net.
4 big shots on goal for Toronto in that part of their 5th power play. They've yet to score on it. Now Nurse, she's in front. LaRock tries to keep it in fast as well. But Boston now back to Nurse. She'll tee up LaRock this time. 40 seconds left in Toronto's 5th power play of the game, and they're looking for that equalizer.
Well, Darkangelo, number 27 for Boston, at the top of the PK, just steering to the boards.
But here comes Maggie Connors through traffic. She'll manage to get the shot off despite the disruption by Fratkin.
Well, she's had a lot of good looks tonight, and the compliments of Sarah Nurse, who left one on her doorstep earlier, as well as Natalie Spooner. She's just unable to convert.
Skimming by is Keller, rather. Well, Canadian Tire is a proud founding partner of the PWHL. Canadian Tire, Canada's store, here to make life in Canada better. And hasn't the PWHL made life for hockey players just that much sweeter, Cheryl?
Yeah, all their different programs and grassroots. You just love it.
Many in the stands tonight trying to cheer Toronto onto a home victory, but they're trailing. Still have time on the power play. Well, that has expired, but in front of the net, Soderberg. Does she have it? She manages the save there.
There's only a couple seconds left on the expiring penalty, so on a win, they were reading a hard rim, see if they can catch anyone here, and that hard rim comes, but not hard enough, and being able to seal the wall, keeping that puck in, and you can see exactly where Miller is net front with Megan Keller, who's got a stick on her, and just gives it a couple sticks. Soderberg.
And now, again, another chance for Toronto. Right off that offensive zone draw, they put the shots on the net, but Soderberg with 24 saves so far. Campbell with 8 the other way.
She's finding the puck, Daniela. You know, she's tracking it, and she's real athletic. She's quick.
Comfer trying to help out Leslie in blue. It'll be Malte, but Rattray right there for Boston. Shuffles around, tries to find that space, nearly pokes it through the legs. Brown will take it away now.
Trying doing a good job, just recognizing there isn't much speed there for Boston because the puck really is broken play.
And now, into the crowd.
Those are the ones you got to be careful. Make sure everyone's keeping their eye on the puck, and that one just redirects out. Both captains on the ice, got Megan Keller and Blair Turnbull, and some lucky fans.
Yeah, they're happy.
That didn't get hurt, even better.
Checking out the PWHL pucks. So neutral zone draw just outside the Boston zone. Mueller wins it over to Keller. Backed up, but it's intercepted. At least LaRock tries to. It's back in the Boston zone. On the attack is Turnbull, but plenty of pressure. Boston. Keller. Tries for the centering feed. Here's Malte. Shoots, and it's high off the glass that time. Fast right there. Can't quite keep it in for Toronto. Howard now. Looking for the play. LaRock off the end boards with speed, but Knight stops that effort. Back the other way is Boston. They'll go for the switch. To the change, rather, and Nurse gets by, feeds it up to Connors. Fratkin.
That is a great job by Fratkin.
Now in front again, Nurse. Spooner was right there. That net front presence that Spooner has taken on. And coming in with speed, Shirley with help from Pelkey. Spooner scoops it up, dishes it over to Connors again. Now up to Nurse this time. Nurse was trying to get by Marvin. Spooner set up in front of the net. Boston, Shirley changing the pace slightly.
She was trying to put the puck in behind the defender for Pelkey, just electing to feather the puck in, just not hard enough.
The center line that time, Costa. He gets down. And again, not much. I mean, what else can you say about Boston's defense? The PK perfect through 5 short-handed times. And now Toronto looking to make good. Hannah Miller got that opening goal for the home team. Rebecca Leslie tees it up, shoots towards it in front, and it's good! Toronto! With their second goal to tie things up. The home crowd has been waiting for it. You love to see it, and it looks like Hannah Miller will lead the way, her second goal of the season and of the night.
Well, this is going to come off of a turnover. It almost looked like Boston was going to get the puck out of their zone. And so nice close gap here. And you can see just not able to get that puck out and converging on it right there. Leslie with the crossing feed in front of the net, but picking up the rebound here. Look at Leslie just drawing to the middle of the ice. And there it is, Miller as Pomper got a stick on it as well, but Leslie made a real nice play. Just a little bit of a pause, opened up that lane or that seam right in front of Soderberg, and Pomper was able to get a stick on it. It came back out to Miller, who put it in.
And they were just batting at it, but the dive by Emily Brown as well for Boston just to try to get in front of it. Jessie Comfort getting the assist on that one, of course. And Rebecca Leslie, too, 18-19, the 1-2 punch on those assists.
Well, it's all about managing the puck. We saw it with Toronto earlier, and you got to manage. Those turnovers can be costly.
The PWHL is brought to you by Hyundai, made for those who drive hockey. A little more than halfway to go here in the third period. We're all tied at 2, and shots on goal for Toronto, 8-1 in the period so far, Cheryl.
Well, yeah, they really started this game dictating pace, and they've been connected. And anytime you have short passes, you generate speed, and that's been their connection. And you can see Renata Fast saying, sorry, Spoons. Sorry about that. I went offside on you.
But on that note, you know, head coach Troy Ryan says, he doesn't mind. He kind of wants Renata Fast to make mistakes, let go of, you know, a need to be perfect so you can play your game. And Renata Fast is so fast, she can go there and correct it. Now, LaRock swings for it, and that time it's chipped back by Boston. It's Toronto with the speed fast. Right there, Rattray.
And that's a nice fight for body position by Renata Fast. Just keeping her feet moving and just forcing your way to fight for that position. And it can be so hard, but these athletes are well conditioned, and Renata Fast is one of the best in that department in the way that she steers and she angles. But you were mentioning it earlier about Troy Ryan talking to the veterans on the team. You got to remember there's a lot of expectation and pressure they place on themselves in this PWHL and different roles, you know, respective to their national teams, not having had played in a league for, you know, since 2019 for some of these athletes. Of course, some of them played in the PHF.
And now Toronto finds themselves in the offensive zone. Captain Turnbull takes it away, drives it in front. The puck gets loose, and Keller right there to scoop it outside. And Malte trying to fight for it. Keller again chips it off the glass. Rattray will do the same, and that one goes into the Toronto bench.
Yeah, and Rattray just tried to put it off the boards and puts it in, but talk about a beautiful opportunity for Blair Turnbull and what she's done in this game. We've seen some end-to-end action, but how some inside loss of coverage here. And the Malte pops up high, and look at that outside. And honoring Malte is Sophie Jake. She recognized she's got a bit of a 2-on-1 there, and Blair Turnbull, the benefactor of a glorious opportunity, but Soderberg, to task.
Now Turnbull driving the action into the, in the Toronto zone, rather, after Hillary Knight brought it down low for Boston. Again, Hillary Knight still looking for her first point of this season. It is just Boston's third game.
Being reunited now with Mueller.
And now a chance right into the glove of Campbell, reads that easy.
Offensive zone possession, and Courtney Kessel goes back with Hillary Knight, Mueller, as well as Lauren Gable. And when you look at up and down this lineup, you know that there's just a ton of offensive production. Now, as you watch the veteran come out, and Gigi Marvin, who Courtney Kessel says she has just been so professional and added such a presence to this team.
Marvin wins it for Boston, but they got to fight for it now. Sophie trying to get her stick on it in white. Plenty of support in front. That one redirected by Miller. We're on hat-trick watch for number 34, but here's a chance for Morin. And that one picked up by Leslie. She's got to force it low, though. Morin takes the bump in the end boards, and back at it is Leslie. She's got Miller teed up. Compers right there. Flanagan near side. Boston has the lead on the hits in this game so far. Right now, all things tied at 2 in Toronto. Flanagan looks for Leslie, and that just bounces.
And you see pressure through the neutral ice by Gigi Marvin as well to force Leslie to put that puck in the net.
Well, Knight driving up the near side. She's got Gable right there. Knight scooping around. Just got to get off fast. And in front, Campbell. She's got some help there. Nurse and Spooner able to send that away. Keller again, and Spooner capitalizes. Takes it near side. Natalie Spooner shoots. Soderberg turns it away. LaRock again with a shot on net. Toronto with the pressure. Back LaRock. They're teed up in the Boston zone. To get ahead here, they look for it. No, Boston now with a chance. Mueller feeds to Gable, loose, down low, fast. Sends it around. Natalie Spooner pretty much where she picked up the puck the last time.
Well, back-to-back action here. Both teams going toe-to-toe with scoring chances.
Fast. Off behind the net, bounces off the end boards. They'll take that Malte far side. And now DiGirolamo. She looks to feed it in. The bodies put it on the outside. Rattray. The puck flies down. Fracken chasing, but it will be iced.
As mentioned, these two teams are going head-to-head right now as the game is on the line. And look at this, Boston up ice. And it's all about the speed, and that's Hillary Knight. She's drawing, she's shielding, and look at it, it's almost like a little bit of a triangle that comes down and gets a shot on net. And then Natalie Spooner with the takeaway there, stick on stick, and then she wins that race to the puck. She's trying to establish the dot. She's on her forehand side. She wants to fight for that dot to get that shot off.
But now in the Toronto zone, Fratkin feeds it down low to Rattray. Again, Boston now, they've been outshot, but they're looking for that lead in front. Oh, hard off that end board. The speed on that one. Rattray chasing it down fast first. Malte serves it back to Spooner, tries to. Boston in the neutral zone, tees up Rattray. She's got to get by LaRocque in the glove that time. And the crowd loves it. Kristen Campbell comes in to keep things tied at 2. Rattray coming off the ice now. We'll be back with more from Mattamy. This broadcast and its content are copyrighted by PWHL Holdings, LLC for the private use of our audience. All rights reserved. Any other use or reproduction of this broadcast, any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game, or any other PWHL proprietary rights without the consent of PWHL Holdings, LLC is prohibited. Tied at 2, just under 8 to go here in the third period. Boston in the Toronto zone. Brown kicks it from the point down low. He's got Gable right there. Gable with 2 points in this game. Captain Knight in front. Tess Campbell, she stays steadfast, and again, from the same angle that time. Boston battles for Toronto.
Well, this line in particular with Mueller is looking to form those tight triangles.
And Captain Turnbull plays it down deep with the race for the puck. Gable tries to get it. Howard with some physical play, a penalty on the way. And so Soderberg goes off, empty net, and there the touch by Toronto, but a big chance now for Boston to get going.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of an undisciplined play, especially when it's 2-2. You want to make sure that you're playing physical, but you can't get the arms up, and it's going to be an elbow right there to the head, and that's going to send Boston to the power play. When you have players like Alina, Mueller, and Gable who have certainly found their touch, this is an inopportune time to give them opportunity, and good to see Jamie Lee Rattray back out on the ice.
The last time they were on the power play, Boston got 3 shots off on goal. They're going to try to get going here. They're looking to get ahead, get back the lead they had entering this period. Now Gable gets in close. Fast and Nurse playing on it tight. And plenty of pressure. LaRocque She feeds it up to Nurse, who will just try to send it out. Protecting the blue line is Marvin Rattray. Morin back up again. That time LaRocque's pass goes deep.
Well, that one goes down, but I think the last one that got turned over, I think Spooner was looking for a quick little break here because we all know about the jailbreak.
Yeah, score shorthanded, and you get back your player, you also get that goal, which both teams so desperately want to get ahead. Monte, far corner, Monroe with support in blue. Shirley and Brandt fighting for it for Boston. They're in the Toronto zone. Chance on the power play. They've had one chance before this. All teams perfect on the PK. Knight moves it back to Keller. Over to Mueller. Some patience, Brandt. From the goal line, Mueller back to Keller. Feeds to Knight, shoots it off the elbow of Shirley, it seemed, actually. Now Keller, far side again. Knight. Shirley in front. Brandt as well, and up and up. They thought they got something there. Mueller was all teed up. Keller back to Mueller. They'll try again this time. High slot, big shot off the body of Campbell.
Well, Hillary Knight and Alina Mueller are both on their one-time sides, and I'm telling you right now, Hillary Knight shot that puck with a purpose, bar pad, for it to kick out to exactly where Mueller was.
Well, 14 seconds left here for this Toronto PK, but what a chance for Boston that they had. Time in the third starts to wind down, and they're back at even strength. Howard on the ice, and Boston tries to feed it up. A chance for Comfer. She's got some space, and Kraken will deliver the hit on that one.
Kraken got away with it there, not just contact in open ice, but also interference. Comfer was away to the races, and we've seen some stand-ups here, and Hillary Knight with a beautiful one-timer, but again, it's where in the placement, as you can see. Imagine those dual threats. That shot, one, and then two getting across Kristen Campbell. And then just as the puck comes down the other side, Confer's away to the races, and she's trying to drive, and she gets taken out by Fratkin.
Now in the Boston zone, Toronto, they've got a hop, skip, and jump over some players still in it, though fast. Tries to find it. Puck loose, Leslie. Center line. Through the feet of LaRocque, and Soderberg will just cover it up. And Soderberg now with 27 saves. And just under 5 minutes left in the third period. All tied at 2. Toronto and Boston.
Well, Jamie Lee Rattray is playing alongside Marvin and Pelkey, the veteran line, shall we call them. But Jamie Lee Rattray is one of those players who can change a game on a dime, and whether she sees limited minutes with the national team or whether she plays a ton here, here is a woman who makes a difference with every shift, and she is a momentum changer. So at this time of the game for Boston, she could be one to break the tie. And you look down the bench, it really could be so many different players, and the same for Toronto. An abundance of riches on the ice right now.
Now Spooner has it in the Boston zone. Again, tied at 2 here. Less than 4.5 to go in the third period. Toronto, by the way, this is the most goals Toronto has scored at home as it is.
Only 5 goals for coming into this game.
And Hannah Miller, by the way, both of those goals, but here comes DiGirolamo. Tries to send it down the rock, smothers the puck. Now tries to redirect fast, gets on it, but Mueller, she's got space. She'll tee up, DiGirolamo in front. That skims by stick side of Campbell. Gable for Boston. A hand pass will send it back.
Well, knowing the clock too right now, just under 4 minutes remaining, and you have to manage the puck, especially if you are in the middle of the ice, and you have to know that this is a top line for Boston. And absolutely incredible. Look at this takeaway. I think Mueller could have driven the lane there, but instead she makes a beautiful play to the middle of the ice, and DiGirolamo, the defender, just coming through the mid lane, get her sticks on it, just not enough.
Toronto will chip it down. Scott Howard along the near wall. Captain Turnbull, Flanagan though. And here comes Schoffel with some speed. In through with the feed. Campbell stops it, deflects it away, and of course a collision into the end boards, but that just part of the play. And so Flanagan will reset here for Toronto, or try to, as Schoffel does the same for Boston. Brown. The pass just goes by Brandt. Fast collects it for Toronto. Far side. Again, Boston. Pelkey tees it up. She got the overtime game winner on Saturday, and there's the cover-up by Campbell. Shirley and Fast having some words.
Well, Shavzal out there with Jamie Lee Ratchet. We just finished talking about her and what she means here, but Shavzal with a nice play through the neutral zone on the takeaway, and just that weight as Monroe slides in. That's Jamie Lee Ratchet. She's driving that far post. She gets taken down hard. You got to play her hard, because anytime she gets below the tops of the circles, it's going to be like a tripod. It's great balance.
A big face-off here for Boston. They win it in the Toronto zone. Keller. She takes it near side. Scott Shirley there for support. Calling for it. Pelkey. Also some support from veteran Marvin. But it's Leslie now. She's just got to get by Keller. Easier said than done. Soderberg pushes it away, far side. Fast can't feed it quite to Leslie. Leslie with some pressure, but Boston now tries to go the other way. Fast will slow that momentum. Nurse over to Connors. Connors has had some looks. She gets stopped there by Keller. Spooner down deep below the goal line. Emily Brown pushing her body into it. Somehow from Marvin. Board battle goes Boston's way. Spooner right there though, trying to chip at it. Pelkey. Monroe back in play. Monroe. And Boston's Mueller. She dropped pass. Here's a chance for Gable in front. She scores! It's what they were building to, and Lauren Gable adds her second goal of the night, a big one at that, to retake the lead for Boston 3-2 in Toronto.
I mean, this is just an incredible play. Brown makes the play up, and look at Alina Mueller. Look at that stalling cut to the middle of the ice. She actually cuts into the coverage, and then Gable has the puck, and she splits to herself. Look at that cut and the drop, and that created the space. And now Gable, with her forehand facing the inside of the ice, goes to the same spot against Kristen Campbell.
Mueller with 3 assists tonight alone. She has been doing her job to distribute Rattray on the race. So a minute 40 now for Toronto to try to tie things up here at home. They get to win on home ice. Had a strong start here, opening scoring by Hannah Miller, who also scored their second starting this period. Now Captain Turnbull turns it around. She knows the time right now. Not on their side. Molte tries to drive it. Howard has space. She shoots, and Soderberg kicks it away. Campbell off to the bench, so now it's empty net situation for Toronto. That one off the end boards. Flanagan, so 6-on-5 here and in front. Puck loose, they got to fight for it. Spooner gets to it first, but Leslie gets there again. Empty net for Toronto as they look to tie things up. They have to do it now. Final minute of play at home, and Boston wants to spoil another on the road. They did it Saturday in Montreal. And PWHL action, of course, never stops. Boston plays New York Saturday. It's an early game, 12:30 Eastern in Boston. And then the next game for Toronto, oh, well, they're taking on Montreal Saturday night, 8 p.m. at Verdun Auditorium, and a timely timeout, Cheryl.
Everyone needs to get the appropriate players on the ice, and so for Toronto with the offensive zone face-off, gives Troy Ryan an opportunity as well. It's all Mike Ellis gonna drop a face-off here, and you can see everyone rallied around. And how we got here, though, Lauren Gable just outstanding with her shot, and Alina Mueller and the chemistry they're finding. And just look at the pause, wait, and going top, shelf, glove hand. And again, this looks very eerily familiar, doesn't the combination, the chemistry between these two athletes? And as we mentioned, Courtney Kessel talked to us earlier, and I asked, sniper or distributor to Alina Mueller? Well, she's looking like a pretty good passer tonight, and Gable,
tonight it is
a sniper.
We talked about poised for breakout. Well, sure, definitely trying to make things happen, not trying to, making things happen for Boston here. But it is an offensive zone draw for Toronto. They have the extra attacker right now, empty net. 35 seconds, that one goes into the Boston bench. They'll bring it back to the Boston zone.
Oh, I thought that maybe that was going to be a delay of game.
Well, officials are talking, Cheryl.
Well, the officials are going to have a look to see. And they said right away that the puck was tipped. GT Marvin goes back for that puck, and we'll see from the angle we have whether it went off of Howard above the glass.
A little reset. Empty net for Toronto right now. They're looking for that equalizer. 30 seconds. Spooner. Rather fast from a long shot there. Now near wall. Spooner's there in the mix, but Boston, they can do this. Larock plays it smart, although Hillary Knight has room, and again an empty net. 16 seconds to go here. Connors for Toronto. They've got to get the equalizer if they want to keep this home win dream alive. Spooner redirects. Final 5 seconds. Larock, does she get the shot off? Boston does it. Toronto open scoring for the first time in the PWHL for their team, but can hold on to the lead. Tied at 2, and then this big moment, a moment from Lauren Gable to get that game winner for Boston, makes it 2 wins in a row. And again, Toronto left without a home victory.
Well, and it's going to be a tough loss for Toronto. And how about Gigi Marvin on the other side, the 36-year-old? I mean, she won a Clarkson Cup back in 2013, and Courtney Kessel talked about her presence, but how about her at the end of the game with the goaltender pulled, and she is out there, and that's